Yes, sir. Welcome, everyone. Coffee time, coffee time. It is coffee time.
Break out another 1,000. I can turn the stuff on Craft Cuba. I've made treasures.
Hey, my mom. I love you.
Is it easy reaching teeny weeny little bitty town? So you know everybody's gonna come out just to see what's going on. The local media small town. People are born here and they never ever leave. In tiny towns like this, furniture just gets passed down from generation to generation. So I'm hoping to score some old pieces with a lot of character.
Yep, this is going on.
I'm excited about Honda because we're looking for high-end. Earlier this week, Mary bought a lot. So it's
He thinks it's not high-end enough, but I think it's good to go.
So moving the stuff really hasn't been top priority on my list.
I know, I can't do it.
Not supposed to win, but because of the injury, he had to win. David Davis Jr., you are a wrestling guy. I figured the old news. Yeah. It's nothing that anyone has done wrong.
Well, a few more pockets of heavy snow up here, obviously, with some elevation in the upstate region, and in fact up in Appalachia, West Virginia, talking to you, and still seeing some of that snow this morning. So again, this is a quick movement, just going to be here for a couple of hours, lay down some fresh snow, push out of here, and we'll get an update from Jim Cantor in just a bit up in New England, giving us some perspective. Snowing right now in New York at 30 degrees, Watertown, Syracuse, you have snow as well. Pittsburgh snowing at 33, and then you head south of that line, and that's where we have temperatures above that 32-degree mark. Washington, D.C., Charleston, Richmond, all in the upper 30s and low 40s, so you've got rainfall there. So the cold air is locked in place here in the northeast. That system pushing out of here, look at the timestamp. We get it out of here basically by midday for the majority of us. Now, question I have is, you're going to see another line develop. Could we maybe see something out of that line, push closer to I-95 late tonight after the evening commute? We'll kind of keep an eye on it, but I do think most of the stuff will come this morning, and then it should push out of here. The interior spots could stay a little bit more active here, of course, with some of that snow coming off of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. Winds, not as brutal as they were. I mean, we had 70 and 80 mile an hour winds with Hernando. With this one, we got wind speeds anywhere from 15 to 30. There are some areas that can maybe pick up a 40 mile an hour gust. Buffalo, I'm talking to you. Some of those exposed areas up on the mountains, but it will be breezy nonetheless, and that wind will definitely add into the bite in terms of wind chill as we head into the afternoon. And then, of course, we got to look ahead after this. The question is, when does this all stop?
I know.
We don't know when that is going to be.
I don't at least see it in the short-term pattern. Now, long-term, I don't even think that's worth talking about because obviously that can change.
Yep.
But let's talk about the late week storm. Now, yesterday we were talking about the potential for maybe some ice in areas like Philly and Baltimore. Looks like that's less of a possibility, but we still have that snow in the conversation, depending on which model you look at. So this European model has backed off considerably when it comes to the snowfall, but the American model still has not done that yet. In fact, you look at the American model, looks at a much more substantial swath of snow, even for areas like Baltimore, Philly, and South Jersey, maybe even up to New York. So And still some pretty wild differences in our models right now. I want to show you just an overview of the timing. The moisture as far as producing snow doesn't really get too far to the north, and that's why I'm more inclined to believe the European model at this point. But this does continue with some pretty heavy rain in the southern tier, where we do have enough moisture, and we certainly need it, right? The drought has been expansive, it has been deepening for months now, and really all the way back to fall, where we had an incredibly hot intake. We didn't have a lot of rain either, and now at winter time, serious lack of any kind of substantial rainfall. Now, I know we just saw some last week, but these small amounts of rain, 1 inch of rain, 2 inches of rain, that happens every other week. It's not really doing much for our drought situation, especially when you look at how hot we were leading up to this most recent cold snap, and dry too, so that certainly didn't help things. This is now Friday morning. The wind getting out of Atlanta, down towards areas like Montgomery and Macon, and eventually getting into Charleston, Savannah, Tallahassee, Jacksonville. South Georgia, North Florida is one of the spots that really could desperately use some rain. You see the extreme drought that's building in. But even where we have the severe drought, that's the orange color, that's bad enough. And we need to start chipping away at some of this, particularly before we get to the summer months, where we know it's going to be hot and dry. 1 to 2 inches of rain, that'll certainly be beneficial. We look at forecasts like Montgomery, Alabama. It's not just rain, you can also have some thunderstorms. Not expecting, widespread severe weather, but hearing the thunder, seeing the lightning, temperatures in the 70s, it's going to feel a lot more like spring than it is late February when the rain continues through Friday morning. Atlanta also has the potential to see some lightning, hear some rumbles of thunder with hit or miss storms, but beneficial rain coming through Thursday into Thursday night. Perhaps lingering around for the Friday morning needs to be kept out of your mind, with sun coming out by Friday evening with highs. There's 70, big difference, Jordan, from what we're seeing the past couple of days.
It'll be nice to get some rain. We can get some of that rain a little bit farther south, as a colder town in Florida. These warm days and consistent drought-stricken days sparked wildfire activity at Big Cypress National Reserve. We also had some shifting winds, massive plumes of smoke in the major highways just yesterday, impacting visibility, slowing down traffic for drivers on I-79 and State Road 29. It's called the National Fire, and it has scorched more than 24,000 acres. Wow. So, of course, it's interesting. We can actually look on the map at some of the smoke and what it's going to do, right? And what it has done and what it will do. You can actually look at the forecast and say, okay, we've got the smoke down here in South Florida. What's it doing over the last 24 hours? Well, with the light wind over the overnight hours, it's just kind of dancing right there just south of Fort Myers. Marco Island probably getting impacted by air quality, and definitely down towards Alligator Alley. But what about the forecast? Eventually, we're going to see some of the westerly winds kind of push it eastward. So it might drift a little to the north, maybe impacting Orlando. Probably see, some of the hazy skies, and then it'll push out towards Vero Beach. West Palm Beach, this is kind of going into the forecast of what that smoke is going to do over the next couple of days. So if you notice, these guys are really well away from the fire. It's all stemming from down there into South Florida. And obviously, without the big rain, we've had that drought move back, timber's dry, and we've had some beautiful days, but obviously there's a lot of fuel for this fire to tap into. So what we need is we need a light wind. Well, we really need a rainfall, but it seems like this next system is only going to be running to the northern part of the state, which I'll show you in a moment. We're all in a deficit here. Pick your spot, all right? We're talking 2 to 6 inches below where we should be for this time of year. And you know what? With this next system, we're probably not even going to get an inch. We'll get some rain, maybe some thunderstorms, but definitely not picking up a ton of precip yet. We know that's going to be around the horizon once we get into rainy season, but this system coming out of the north, and so it'll really impact areas north of I-10, right? From Tallahassee, Pensacola to Jacksonville, you guys have the best chance of actually picking up maybe an inch of rain. And then south of that line, we'll kind of see what happens when it interacts with the Gulf and kind of works its way across the peninsula. I do think they're going to get some rain late Friday into Saturday, but again, it's not going to be all that much, and I only know how much we get down towards the fire, down just west of Miami. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that going into your upcoming weekend, hoping at least the moisture in the air can help the firefighters a little bit, because there's a lot out here. But again, then you can look at overall precipitation, you can see we just don't have much for that current National Fire Department.
Oh, hopefully we can see a pattern change soon. Well, Winter Fernando dropped more than 2 feet of snow in Montauk, New York, and hammered the coast with ruthless winds. The Montauk Point Lighthouse keeper rode out the storm. Hear his experience in his own words.
I got woken up, the power went out at about 2:30. We have a weather station here, and I looked at the gauge there, and I saw the wind had gone from 45 miles an hour to within that hour there, knocked our power out. I was kind of up from then on. It actually got more intense from there. You couldn't sit there. It was a very wet snow. It was clearly encased with ice and snow. I came up here, I couldn't see a thing. So I actually went down to the balcony level and did film from there. It was just, you couldn't see a thing from here. Sustained winds for the next 6 or 7 hours, about 60 miles an hour. We were gusting every hour of the 6, over 80. We had a high gust of 88. It was northeast, so it shakes our residence building here at the museum. I've never felt that much shaking before. No idea, so the intensity of 88, gust to 88 miles an hour was scary up there. You couldn't hear something. It was so scary.
It's still all smiles in the end. Really appreciate that perspective because that is, of course, where we saw some of the wildest wind gusts throughout our nor'easter. But we're not done yet. We have a series of systems that are going to be moving through over the next couple of days. Of course, we have the one right now. As we get towards the weekend, we have another very quick moving system that's going to drop just a narrow swath of snow, 1 to 3 inches of snow there across portions of the northern plains into parts of the upper Midwest. It's not a significant system by any means, but as we follow this across the Great Lakes into the Northeast, well, the footprint of snow becomes a little bit larger, and it is back into areas like Boston, like Providence, Connecticut there, Long Island, New York looks to be right on the edge of the transition zone. So do we see all snow? Do we see more of a rain-snow mix? It's something that we're watching out for as we head towards the weekend. Just know that more light snow is in the forecast. How much snow? Well, about an inch for many of us, 1 to 3 inches of snow when you get to the lake effect areas and into the higher elevations, which Jay Peak is 1 inch of snow away from 350 inches of snow for the season so far. So I think it's pretty safe to say that we achieved that even probably before the weekend. We will see an additional system, a series of systems move in as we head into the beginning of the upcoming week. And this has the potential to drop a lot more snow than these first couple of systems. Heavy snow, this is the European model, by the way, more for the interior Washington, D.C., up through central PA, parts of the capital district of New York, into the higher elevations of Vermont, New Hampshire, and then into Maine. But the American model has a slightly different solution. Heavier snow in the 95 corridor, heavier snow in central PA, all the way back through the Ohio Valley, and into areas just north of St. Louis and over into Missouri. So where does the truth lie? Well, we still have a couple of days to work this out, but just know that more snow and more wintry weather is on the way. We're not quite done with winter yet. I want to start with the European model. You see that small weekend system, quickly followed by our system on Monday, Washington, D.C., through areas in the mid-Atlantic, up through New York City, once again, right on the edge. And then we get to Tuesday, it's a lot messier of a system, right? It's not as straightforward as just seeing snow for many of us. We have this transition zone between rain and snow. Freezing rain potential is there, perhaps some sleet mixed in. That would be preferable over the freezing rain, right? By Tuesday evening, now we have New York in the rain, Boston in the snow, but again, right on that transition zone just south of that for areas like Connecticut and Rhode Island. And Rhode Island, of course, Providence seeing the most snow this last nor'easter. Let's look at the American model because there are some differences, right? This is a lot more aggressive with the snowfall back through the Ohio Valley into New York. It brings heavy snow by the time we get to Monday afternoon into areas like Boston, puts Washington, D.C. right on the edge of that transition zone for this first blast of snow. And then we get our second round of wintry weather, and the timing on the second one is a little bit later, but it's New York in the rain, Boston in the rain, with most of the snow falling just north of there in parts of the interior. So Jordan, it is a messy forecast for the next few
Seriously,
days.
yeah, we just stay so busy. All right, real quick, we'll get you guys out the door in the Northeast. Obviously, we have snow this morning. Boston, Watertown, your cameras on the left. We'll be back right after this. Hey, let's go for a drive.
That's what you agree about that.
Here you go, Grandpa.
Returning the favor is a gift.
Superior Bob?
I got this old bike from another store and I got
out there will see what I hear. I'd like for you to deal with a better deal on the street of Molo.
What?
What? At Verizon, anyone can bring in their AT&T T-Mobile bill and give you a better deal. Isn't Verizon expensive? No, better deal. Best network.
I'm sorry, man. Only Verizon lets you bring your AT&T or T-Mobile bill for a better deal. And that's the stationary.
No, I know.
Have a great day.
You're not as cool as Verizon.
Move forward and flare less with Eblis for eczema. U.S. Olympian Erin Jackson coming down. But wait, this isn't where her story starts. Back up, back up. One more rep. And here, this is it. This sense of calm. Want to find calm for your skin? Once monthly Eblis is a treatment that can be used with or without topicals that can deliver calming itch relief. It offers people with moderate to severe eczema skin that's still more clear at 1 year.
Don't use if you're allergic to Eblis. Allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Eye problems can occur. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening eye problems. You should not receive a live vaccine when treated with Eblis. Before starting Eblis, tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection.
That's not good one.
Ready for
That's a
calmer
bad one.
skin? Flare less with Eblis for eczema. Scan here and talk to your doctor today.
It started off normal, then everything went sideways.
Honestly, Jimmy got right into the thick of it.
I'm used to being sloughed, but this. Turns out, it's not threat count, it's how you use it.
I'd be mad if I wasn't so impressed.
We're almost 50. We worked hard and built our dream life.
We're a two-income family. That means life would be very difficult if something happened to either one of us.
So how did we make sure our family and our lives were protected?
We call it Select Quote, where a licensed insurance agent found us each a policy under $1 a day.
We got covered the same day without a medical exam and saved thousands.
Thanks to Select Quote, our family is protected and we can enjoy life.
Visit SelectQuote.com to shop some of the nation's most highly rated providers and see if you could save 50% or more.
Fancy Feast presents our latest chef-inspired creation, Fancy Feast Gems. This rich pyramid mousse pate puts mealtime in a whole new light and turns the everyday into extraordinary. Fancy Feast Gems. Love is in the details.
Timber Titans is back with bigger trees and even bigger cuts. Timber Titans, Sunday at 8 and available on the TV app.
Dude, your jeans suck. You need Muggsy jeans. The most comfortable jeans ever made. They're literally softer than sweatpants. Muggsy jeans move with you, never against you. And it's safe to say with over 25,000 five-star reviews, Muggsy's changed the jean game. With free shipping and returns, it's a no-brainer. Get your first pair today at Muggsy.com.
Yes, I actually won!
See this? It just arrived from DealDash, a Nintendo Switch 2.
Look what I just won! I love Deal Dash.
With millions of options, you too can start winning. Like this.
I got this amazing Japanese knife set for just 75 cents.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56.
And today, new users get a $50 bonus credit. Go to DealDash.com right now for huge savings.
And free shipping from our U.S. warehouses.
Currently in our area, 55 degrees under fair skies. Today, focus on clouds and sun. High 80. Winds southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds. Low 54. Winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, generally sunny. High 80. Winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
You need these big monsters to lift up your weight.
That thing that ended very badly.
Were they tragic accidents or Mother Nature herself?
Well, people heading out for a little fun in Providence, Rhode Island after the biggest snowstorm on record that they've ever had. All right, see what this guy does. Going downstairs on a snowboard, that seems sketch, but all right, we're good because we're all covered up. Oh, it looks good. Nice. Fernando dropped an entire season's worth of snow in a single event. What is that? A makeshift sled? Okay, a little handle on it. Molly, have you ever been on one of those? Let's see what this guy does real quick. Okay. Is it a radial flyer
Sled?
that you could steer? It's metal with wood on top. Those old school ones.
Sure, I grew up in Atlanta. You think
I've never been on a sled. Let's stop there then.
I have, but it's like of the plastic variety that you can get at, your big box store.
Okay, got it.
That, works okay.
Right, like this one right here.
Yeah.
It gets you down the hill.
It gets you down. Whoa, we got some air. See? There's nothing wrong with the plastic sled. You don't need anything fancy. In fact, when I was in Fayetteville a couple weeks ago, when we had the big snow around the University of Arkansas, I saw kids going down in cardboard boxes that they had wrapped in plastic bags. So listen, it works. Right? But if you're a place like Providence, you're used to seeing snow, you probably have the proper sledding gear. If you're trying to travel today, well, today as a whole should be a lot better than what we've seen the past couple of days. That being said, we still have some problems out there, and that includes, the 95 corridor. All those green right now, but where we could see some delays, well, you guessed it, it's JFK, it's Newark, it's LaGuardia, it's Boston, even included in that where the snow is just now starting to move in. Areas that already could see some delays with the rain, snow, mix. We see clouds in there with some rain. It's those typical suspect spots, and we might have not even had an opportunity to get a flight since all of them canceled starting Sunday, Monday, even yesterday we had some travel issues, especially at JFK with some of those ground delay programs that were impacted. Some turbulence reports there along the 95 corridor, moving up into the northeast. Of course, we get more of these as the morning goes on, and you get more flights that are up in the air and they're able to report back. Well, we could see some more reports as we go throughout the day. Maybe not necessarily 95 corridor as our system continues to clear out, but now more focused towards the evening hours in areas around the Ohio Valley and into the Mid-South, and that continues well into the evening. Well, we're going to have road troubles again today, of course, with all the snow that is still out there, the piles of snow, maybe refreezing, compacting onto the road, making an icy situation where maybe you didn't have an icy situation yesterday, and of course with the fresh snow falling, maybe you're not able to see some of those icy spots this morning. So having that walking distance in your mind, snowy 500 feet, but then you get to icy, of course, that increases big time up to about 1,000 plus. So be careful out there, Jordan. Of course, with more winter weather coming through, and this is not less of it.
I was just driving the snow last week and I literally hit the brakes. Wouldn't stop. Did not stop on ice. I'm like, okay, this is a situation where I need to figure out how to steer the right way because I'm coming up on the stop sign. Thankfully, I was able to navigate out of it, but give yourself that distance. Meanwhile, in Denver, you really haven't had to put the snow tires on. Some of you use studded tires, chains. It's been a dry and ridiculously warm winter for us. I mean, take a look at how many days we've had about 50, 60, and 70 degrees. It's winter. This is winter time. 7 days above 70 degrees? That's ridiculous. We should be talking about highs in the 30s or below with big snow, and we haven't had any of that. Most of the month of February was all above average. You can see, all that red color, but only a couple of days with temperatures at average or below with a winter feel. In fact, I was talking to some other family out in the Intermountain West. They're like, man, we really haven't had a cold day where I need a jacket. It was cool, but not cold at all. And of course, going into this week and looking at the weekend, we're talking record highs yet again. Way above average is where we're going to be standing for the next couple of days, which means places down around the Four Corners, even up into places like Denver, are all going to be trending 20 to 25 degrees above average, which means we're flirting with record highs yet again. Could we see a 90-degree figure? For sure. Yuma could get there, Phoenix could get there tomorrow, San Antonio could get there, West Texas could get there. There's a lot of areas that could hit their 90-degree figure, which, when you're looking at the end of February, like, come on, this is just a little bit too soon. That high-pressure ridge continues to just sit off of Baja, California, and that's going to allow that heat to seep into a lot of our areas and even push up into the plains where, Chicago will be well above freezing. You'll be in the 60s. You can see some 70s out towards Omaha. Here's the classic stat. We go to Phoenix for a second. It is the second warmest February to date for us. All right, record temp, average temp 66.2. The all-time February high is 92. We could break that. The all-time record high for the month of February in Phoenix, we could break going into Friday and Saturday with our forecast high of 93. All right, that's a headline. Of course, that means more areas as well could also break records, including the high country in Arizona too.
I remember that my heart was beating so fast. It's like good before the show even started. I remember getting my first jersey. When you get there, you can feel like that gut feeling of excitement. I love popcorn and I especially love the butter that. I remember reading my mom and I loved it and I couldn't stop.
Presents to see souvenirs. Flashback on experiences you'll never forget. Choose Freedom Unlimited.
Hello?
Hi there. This is Regional Power and Utility. We're calling you about an outstanding request.
I repeat that.
Shut off the listen's resolve today.
Stop and reflect so you can protect yourself from fraud. The AARP fraud doesn't have you missing out on what you love. Get back to better breathing with Zenra, a treatment for eosinophilic asthma. Zenra is not for sudden breathing problems. Serious allergic reactions, including anaphylaxis, may occur. It helps increase mouth, tongue, or trouble breathing. Don't stop asthma treatments without talking with your doctor. Tell your doctor if your asthma worsens or you have a parasitic infection. Ask your doctor if the Zenra is right for you.
Oh, only I knew. Just between us, these are actually Omaha Steaks. They're your top sirloin fillets. They're so tender, you swear they're fucking mignon. Age 35 days, they're manufactured certified tender by the USDA. Everybody's gonna be so happy.
Only two. Or three Butcher's Cut Top Sirloin Fillets. You will order at OmahaSteaks.com/top-bits.
Times make it tough, but this never is.
Slots, the all slots game. That's so Vegas, baby. It's got me in a spin. Because we're giving you a chance to win a $2,000 gift card. Walmart and get Total Mix blood pressure support soft cheese today.
Fancy Feast chef-inspired variation. Fancy Feast Gems. This rich pyramid loose pate at mealtime in a whole new light and turns the
What you
everyday
doing?
into extraordinary.
Want your food?
Fancy Feast Gems.
Give me a second, Bubba. I'll get you, okay?
Welcome back on this Wednesday morning. You're taking a live look at Providence, Rhode Island. Storm tracker Thomas Peak bringing us these images from a neighborhood near Brown University. Hard to tell, is the road? Is the sign? Does it stop? You will get stuck. That's nice that someone put that sign out there to really make the they got stuck themselves. But just warning people that that road is not drivable. You see those huge piles of snow, and actually we saw one of those pickup trucks it's been, a couple of night hours too. The snowfall is impressive. We know that, right? But we're actually getting additional snow on top of that this morning. It's not a lot, but it's just insult to injury at this point. If you were walking around yesterday, because we did have a lot of sunshine, especially in New York City. We were talking to Paul Goodlow yesterday, and he was there as the sun was coming out, and he was like, oh, it's really bright. You gotta wear your sunglasses. And that's because you have the albedo that increases when you see snowpack, fresh snowpack on the ground. Now, the snow also insulates really well. It prevents the heat from leaving the ground, and that means not only are you going to see those snow piles stick around for a minute, but also it makes it very cold at night. Much colder if you do not have the snowpack present. Now, tomorrow morning, another morning below freezing for many of these areas. We'll see if the power is restored today. Hopefully so. I know the crews are out there trying to work as hard as they can and as fast as they can to get the power back on. There are winter weather advisories this morning. Areas just north of I-80, across I-80, Johnstown, down into West Virginia, where we have a winter weather advisory. There is a light amount of snow that's been falling, and additional snowfall. What's falling in New York City right now, we're coming to the tail end of that. 1 to 3 inches of snow when you look into areas like New England. You're almost on the back edge of the snow there in New York City. It's just now starting to move into areas like Boston, Long Island, seeing additional snowfall, and areas like Montauk, and then up into some of the ski resorts in New England. Eventually getting into the Portland area too. Good news, Jordan, this is a quick moving system, so we have a couple more hours of some very light snowfall, which would be fun if we didn't just see a rain.
You're right, it would be kind of fun.
Yeah, it's a new novelty snow, right?
We don't think as much here along I-95 with our next end of the week system. We'll get more and more of that up towards the Great Lakes, and there's a little bit of bacteria that could happen down towards the Ohio Valley. GFS puts a little bit more robust moisture down here across the southern tier. But again, I think it should be honestly, I mean, you have a little more moisture coming from
Hire the right pro today.
Give me the poison.
Blocked sinuses mean blocked breathing. Doctors recommend the Neomed sinus rinse for instant relief. Flushing mucus with a gentle but deep sinus rinse. Use Neomed daily for fresh starts or during tough allergies to keep your sinuses clean and clear. Breathe freely with Neomed. Trusted, proven, and always safe. Get that clean nose feeling. Available at major retailers nationwide.
Advil liquid gels are faster and stronger than Tylenol rapid release gels. Also from Advil, Advil Targeted Relief, the only topical with 4 powerful insulating ingredients. Start working on contact and lasts up to 8 hours.
Welcome back on this Wednesday morning, and we're coming live in the Northeast once again. Snow is being recorded in New York. It's moving, we've had some blue snowflakes in Philly. We might get a few more before all is said and done. Not snow, no snow rather being reported in Boston quite yet, but it is on the way. In fact, we're going to talk to Jim, who is just south of Boston in Clement County here, coming up in just a few minutes, and likely the snow is going to be approaching his area as we talk to him. Burlington, Watertown, Syracuse also all reporting snow. So we know that there's some potential for some travel problems again this morning. I know exactly